What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land. So last night we got a word on the final Super Mario Maker 2 update coming to the game, and it is a pretty hefty one, adding some pretty cool things. So together we're going to go through each and every section of this trailer and talk about all the new things and the things that are hidden from us that we may have missed the first time around. Before we get started today, if you enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all things Mario Maker 2 coming very soon. Without further ado, let's look at everything that's coming in this future update. So first off, we get our new Mystery Mushroom ability, which is the Super Mario Bros. 2 theme. Similar to how we could turn into Link, we can now turn into Super Mario Bros. 2, which completely changes Mario's moveset. He's now able to jump on enemies and completely just stand on them, and able to pick them up and toss them like in Super Mario Bros. 2. We see him even toss a bullet bill, which he can stand on and ride across the stage as a horizontal side-scroll type of level. You can also pick up a Chain Chomp and it won't hurt you, which kind of signifies that you can pick up enemies and you'll be fine. This is also pretty cool because Mario can carry it around and let the Chain Chomp attack different enemies and treat it kind of like a guard dog. In the snow theme, Mario also can pick up snow from the ground in the form of a snowball and toss it at items and different enemies. And this is pretty cool because you can make a whole level designed around this. Maybe a puzzle where you're trapped in a room and the only thing you have is snow floors, and you have to use snowballs in order to hit switches or enemies to get out. This is pretty clever, and I think a lot of people would not realize that you could pick up snowballs, so I have to make this very apparent that yes, you can pick up snowballs. Watch out for that if people make levels where you're stuck into a room and you can't reach certain things. The frog suit is coming to Super Mario Maker, so finally those underwater levels could probably be a lot better. This is only obviously for Super Mario Bros. 3, and Mario can also run on water with this frog suit, which could be very interesting as the player has the water rising and lowering, and Mario can run on the water in order to reach higher or lower ground, which is pretty dope. I think this would be a really cool addition for level makers because lots of people love those, speedrun levels, and in the middle of the speedrun you could grab a frog suit and continue to run on the water and make it rise in order to go up higher without even making the level go up itself. Just simply by raising the water, you can run on the water and get to higher ground, which is something pretty awesome. The Power Balloon is a Super Mario World exclusive item, and it allows you to float and almost look like he's farting through the air. This is a pretty cool item because it looks like it's a lot better and a lot easier to control than the original from Super Mario World, which is fun, and it gives you lots of aerial mobility for those side-scroller air levels, and you can kind of feel more like Star Fox now. I know there's some items out there that, can have you feel like that with the clown car, but now you can actually free float through the air. Now the question is, does this last forever, or is there a timer that eventually goes out and it depletes the item's usage? We also have the Super Acorn for the new Super Mario Bros. Theme, which is kind of weird that this still wasn't in the game, but we finally have it nevertheless. This allows Mario to float slowly towards the ground and glide through the air. This is a cool power-up, and I can see it being used for some cool things in order to reach far-off destinations where you have to glide to. But yes, the Super Acorn is in the game. The Boomerang Flower makes its return in Super Mario 3D World, where you can throw the boomerang in front of Mario and obviously it'll come back. He can jump over it for it to come back once again. But we'll find out later on that there's some pretty cool things that you can do with the boomerang. You can throw it through pipes to continue the flow of the boomerang to follow forward, and you can make it hit enemies by simply using those clear pipes, which is a pretty cool thing to do. For Mario 3D World, we also have a whole set of different wearable hats and costumes and stuff that you can put on Mario. For one, we have the Cannon Box, which you can just shoot cannonballs just like in the game at enemies. You can finally make that side-scroller shoot 'em up type of level, and even have Mario ride something and just have that Star Fox level we've all been waiting for. But this would be really cool. You could shoot the cannonballs through pipes, and you can have them go through clear pipes, hit blocks, get items, which could be really unique and make some really cool puzzles out of them. Next up, we have the Propeller Box, which will allow Mario to fly up in the air, but he only gets 3 of them. If you notice on the side of the box, there's 3 little lights, and one will go away every time you use the propeller. This is pretty cool because just like in 3D World, this helps you get to higher ground, and you can even spin drill downward to get to the ground faster. You can make levels like this one where constantly Mario is in the air, and you have to utilize those jumps and those spin jumps carefully. The red POW Box works simply like a POW block, where you could carry it on Mario's head, and it's now traversable. So pretty much what happens is, if you notice, just like the Propeller Box, instead of 3 little lights, there's 3 letters, POW, and every time you use it, one of the letters will lose its color. When all the letters lose its color, the block is done, which is pretty cool. I don't know what too many levels could look like with this thing, and I don't know if Mario is running at his full speed because it looks like it slows him down, if anything. He could be jogging though, so who knows. The Goomba Mass returns from Super Mario 3D World, and it does the same type of thing here. Enemies will not attack Mario, and in fact, you can use them to blend in and maybe make a level where you are an enemy infiltrating some type of facility, and you have to creep in, following the rest of the Goombas, and making your way to the final boss. That could be something really cool, and as soon as you lose your mask, you will be getting attacked by every single enemy around you, and probably killed, so the key is to leave the mask on. I could see some pretty cool design levels with this aspect. The Bullet Bill mask is a completely new item, and this is pretty exciting to me, so you can make a complete Star Fox level with this now, because you can jet through the skies horizontally across the stage. You can control the stop and start power of this thing and kind of slow it down by stopping it completely, dropping down and changing direction, and this could be some really difficult levels that people create where you have a tiny little path to cross through and you cannot mess up. You don't drop any type of height either when you continue to move unless you stop it altogether and drop down. The Koopalings make it big time in Mario Maker 2 finally after all these years, and they have a lot of detail in them as they play very similar to their past counterparts of previous games, and they all have their own special abilities that carry over from their games. They're not just generic. Wendy still has her hoops, Morton still slams on the ground really hard, Lemmy still has his bouncy ball attacks, and Roy still jumps from the ceiling and falls out of gaps between the stages. And all these other enemies and all these other Koopalings work the exact same way they have in past games, and it's so exciting to see them in all these game styles. However, they are not coming to Super Mario 3D World style, as they didn't even appear in that game, and it looks like Nintendo's just completely leaving them out altogether. The Cursed Key returns from Super Mario Bros. 2, and it's only compatible with the original Super Mario Bros. Game style, and it still moves relatively the same. It's a lot slower, it looks like this time though, and it continues to follow the people on the stage, and it doesn't really fly, across the stage, through the stage. It's just very slow, and it just slowly follows whoever has the key. And this could be for some cool things, taking this key back to the door without getting hit by that Phantom mask is something that always scared me as a kid with Mario Bros. 2, and we can recreate those levels once again. There are now switch trampolines that you can trigger by hitting the switch, making the platform below you turn into a bouncy trampoline, which is pretty cool, and I can see some things that allow you, like the boomerang going through the pipes, will allow you to hit that trampoline to jump higher and reach the upper platform. But yes, there is something else a part of this scene here. Did you notice that there are on and off switch blocks now for 3D World, which is something people have been asking for a while, and it really was needed for some specific level design concepts and to block certain paths off. But now, we have them. Mecha Koopas are included in everything but 3D World, but what's so awesome is you can finally recreate that Super Mario World boss battle the correct way. You also have flying Mecha Koopas that shoot out little bullets that home in and attack you, and you'll have blue ones that shoot out giant laser blasts. But in the night themes, you'll also have the Mecha Koopas able to jump from platform to platform and kind of follow after you like some crazed robot. But I thought it was pretty cool to have the new variations of them, the bullet ones and the laser zapping ones, to kind of change things up. But I think the most important thing is here, we can finally have the correct version of the Bowser boss fight from Super Mario World. In World Maker, we'll have a template right here that we can look at and kind of judge as what we can do. You can set the number of lives on the left and the themes, which we'll get to in a second, and what world they're playing on. You'll look like it only has 4 different levels that you can place on this world and 3 different bonus stages where you can play the slots game for some extra lives, but I think you're only able to have 1 set of pipes, which is kind of weird. I wish there was more options here, but I can see as the stage isn't that big and the screen isn't that wide to fit all those different substitute routes. But you can also design your stage by making mountains, hills, or putting down little decorations like little flowers and stuff across the stage just to make it look right. I thought that was a nice little touch, and it looks really clean doing so. You can change your course icons to different types of enemies and designs that will match up the theme of the level. For instance, there's even a little ghost house icon, little forest one, a battleship, or even a castle one, depending on how you want to handle that. There's also little enemies and even starting points and maybe even endpoints you can put down. I even noticed like little path ones, such as a little water pool, a little log, or a little snow mound. There's just so many options to make the course look as beautiful as possible. And you can change the theme of your world. You have an underground one here with a little water moat. You can have a desert with little pyramids and a little oasis in the background. You have snow ones with snow mountains and little snow pokies and Mario and Luigi snowmen. You can even have clouds with upper cloud portions you can reach. Forest with, once again, the moat and a little bridge to get across. Even the castle stages with the lava. You have a giant little castle wall that you can walk on. And even like a space theme, which is super cool. So there's lots of options here, and there's always some type of new way that people can design this and make up their own little path for their own world. So the limit that you can make is 8 total worlds with 40 different courses, which is pretty cool. As you can see right there's the world screen with all the different person's worlds that he has created in each of the themes, and you can have a total of 40 courses. It looks like each person online gets their own little name beside the world, like Super Whoever World, so for me, Super Land and World, which is pretty cool, but also it looks as if you can also play these worlds and these levels with many different people as well, so maybe you and your friends can jump into people's worlds online and try to complete them, which could be a fun time, or maybe you can play with randoms online and try to get levels done, but you can also just play by yourself and go through someone's world, which is going to be a blast, just going through people's worlds and playing them. I'm sure a lot of people are going to make worlds for me to play on stream, so go ahead and get started on that now. The last thing that I noticed was a small segment of Mario picking up clouds, and if you haven't noticed, this is a direct callback to Super Mario Bros. 2, where Mario would dig through the sand to get to the bottom of the level and get the key. Instead of sand, they now use clouds, which works really well because you can jump straight back up, and the only way down is to pick up the clouds again. This would be an awesome recreation level for Super Mario Bros. 2, where you have to dig into the ground to reach that key. This was awesome, and I think that a lot of people are going to utilize this a lot more and make some pretty cool levels out of it. Well guys, what did you think of this update? Do you think there's a lot of new things that look a lot of fun? Did I miss anything that they talked about? What items are you most excited for to use in your levels? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe if you are new and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.